Those of you who are used to listening to me, if I sound a little different, it's because I feel so excited. I really do. This is a real shot in the arm for me, I must tell you. I make no secret of the fact that I have wanted to do a national program for a long time, and the fates have denied me, for whatever reason, they have denied me. It's so exhilarating. And maybe that's what you hear in my voice, a little exhilaration which you might not be used to. Now that I have made a confession and have been blessed, let's say hello to James, checking in from Baton Rouge.
Hello, Robert. Go ahead.
Now, let's see. This is James from Baton Rouge. I know a Jimmy from Baton Rouge.
Yeah? Which one? Jimmy who?
It begins with an S.
Oh, I know that, but, you know...
He cries and goes to prostitutes.
Oh, yeah, I know. I pray for the man. He's like Rush Limbaugh. He criticized people so long, he finally got criticized himself. But I don't want to talk about him. I want to talk about the language situation.
Good.
What is the Constitution written in? English, French, or what?
Well, as you well know, it is written in English. Every document that had to do with the making of this great republic was written in English. Every single scrap of paper written in English. We have been an English-speaking country. It is a good language. It is the glue that has held disparate peoples together, and now we're going to jettison it.
Now, how about our school books? They're written in English, right?
Well...
How much would it cost to replace all that?
You and I know they are written in English, but according to some school teachers, the students don't know that.
Well, I'm down here in Louisiana, and we all French, and some of the schools, you know, until recently, they were teaching French and all that, but now they're all English, you understand?
Hey, I have no problem with a person learning a foreign language. I think that's a laudable enterprise.
We've had some Vietnamese come in this country, and they've learned English, and they've made excellent grades. In fact, they've topped any of our students here in America. And they didn't know them but Vietnamese when they come over here.
Yeah, you know...
Why should we change?
Yeah, you take somebody from Southeast Asia, Cambodia maybe, Vietnam maybe, Laos, and the language they spoke in their native country was so alien, so foreign to English, and yet they learn English. Now, why is it that people who speak Spanish, a language not too dissimilar from English, with the same root in many cases, why is it they can't? Are they too dumb? Are they too lazy? The answer to
we got more African Americans over here. We're going to talk African too.
I don't know why.
We're going to change the African language too.
Well, you and I are on the same wavelength, James. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Herbert, this is Bob Grant. Hello to you.
Yes, hello, Bob.
Where are you calling from, Herbert?
Mamaroneck.
Okay, he's calling on the 563 number.
Bob Grant country.
Hey, you tell him, Herbert. You tell him.
Now, firstly, I want to say that we won't have a war on crime or drugs until we get the Bob Grant politicians in there where they belong. Number two, the next time you have Needle-Nose Minaj on, I'm going to come down there and punch his nose right down his face. I don't like this guy. How dare you? How dare you have a criminal on like that?
Well, he's not just a criminal, Herbert. You see, you got to... Herbert's talking about Paul Needle-Nose Minaj of the Yugo Matsututugwanda family, ladies and gentlemen. We have an exclusive contract with the Yugo Matsututugwanda family, Rudy Ashpara Conciliers, to do certain predictions on certain enterprises. Right, Herbert?
Right.
And now that Mr. Minaj has fulfilled his work release program activities, he is absolutely free as a bird. I think he's at Gulfstream. I think he's at Gulfstream today, touting a few races.
God bless you, Bob. Keep the good work up.
Thank you, Herbert. Bill is checking in right now, and I'm going to say hello to Bill so that all you can hear Bill calling from Cape Girardeau.
Yeah, Gordon Elliott had on Morally Safer, I guess it was about 2 weeks ago, and he seemed to think that the Soviet Union never was interested in trying to take over different countries and such. That didn't have weren't trying to spread their ideology around, but now their economy's just in bad shape that they can't do nothing but try to fix it. But my question My question was, what do you think the lessons of the Vietnam War were?
What? Well, I'll address that in just a couple of minutes. Don't move. I think that's a good question. And we'll get back to Bill right here on Talk Radio.
The Bob Grant Network special continues after this on WABC.
All right, get the digitalis because I'm going to say something nice about the Supreme Court. I'm going to congratulate the Supreme Court. Once in a while, they do something right, and they voted just after midnight that was on Saturday, to cancel a stay granted Saturday by the United States Court of Appeals for the 9th District in San Francisco, a stay in the execution of Thomas Bao, who killed a woman in robbery because she had given him only $20. Anyway, congratulations to you folks out there in Carson City, Nevada. You executed an enemy of society, a person who declared war on society many years ago, who killed and would kill again because that's what killers do, and the only way to treat killers is with the death penalty. So every now and then, as in the case of Louisiana Governor Romer, every now and then somebody does the right thing. Let's get back to Bill on our telephone line. Are you there, Bill? Are you there, Bill?
Yes, I am.
Yes.
See, what I wanted to say was that I think that our strategy during the Vietnam War should have been just to stay out until the communists took over, and then supplied weapons to the people that of course would have rebelled against them, just as they have everywhere else where the commies took over, and then that way we could have gotten the same amount of it would have been money better spent than sending our troops in and everything.
Bill, you know what I try to do?
What?
I try to avoid playing the game of we should have, we could have. I try to avoid that in my personal life, and I try to avoid that in talking about our national affairs.
Well, we learned the lesson.
So what the heck good is it going to do for us to say, well, we should have done this, we should have done that, we should have done this? Hindsight...
Okay, we did the right thing after that.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Really nothing else to talk about with the guy. We did the right thing after that. What the heck is that? Ron, hello.
Hi, Bob. Bob, I think you're going to do quite well.
Where are you calling from, Ron?
Well, I'm calling from New Jersey, Bob.
Okay.
Loyal fan of yours, and I think you're going to do quite well if you go national, because I think you're much more in line with the philosophy of the people west of the Hudson River, because if it wasn't for them, Dukaka Zolt would probably be president right now.
I wish you'd tell the powers that be locally that I belong on the network.
Well, I will, Bob. But, I want to tell you why I think we're fast becoming a third world country. Joseph Sobrand said that politics is the conspiracy of the unproductive but organized against the productive but unorganized. In other words, while people like you and I are hard at work trying to make a living, trying to raise our kids...
Wait a minute, I'm not hard at work. I'm sitting here in a radio studio doing a radio program.
Well...
I'm loafing.
Well, the rest of us, Bob.
Okay.
The liberals and the otherwise unproductive people of this world are conspiring to bring down the values and the institutions that the rest of us hold dear. Yeah, they're pulling the rug out from under us. And that's why Thomas Jefferson said it best. The price of liberty is eternal vigilance. Thank you, Bob.
Well, don't forget this. The government that governs least governs best. I still believe that. Thank you. Guy checking in right now from Lompoc, California. Lompoc, California, over there, where a lot of crooked politicians improved their tennis game when they did 3-4 months.
Oh yeah, we got a hotel here for a prison.
That is tell you, in the federal prison system, you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a 6. A 6 is the maximum security. We have only 1 6 that's in Marion, Illinois, which replaced Alcatraz. Lompoc has a number 1, which is about as easygoing as you can be.
Well, it's going to get tougher. They're building new fences and
really?
so forth. Mm-hmm.
Ah. Anyway, now that we've had a lesson in penology, now what?
Well, I don't think we're ever going to solve the border problem because there's not enough people that really want to stop it.
You know, you're right,
if you look at the people who are concerned, is the law enforcement, the welfare agencies, and the public medical facilities, as that one lady suggested. If you go down the line, the businesses don't want to complain because that's a major problem. It's a cheap, exploitable labor source.
Well, I got to get out of here. I'm going to have to find a country then because...
Well, and merchants don't want to complain because they got to spend their money somewhere. The schools won't complain because they get a sum for each student they have in school. Politicians don't complain because it's a source of votes. Builders and real estate agencies don't complain.
Wait a minute. These invaders don't vote.
Well, but they will eventually.
No.
As they keep making them eligible.
If I showed you the garbage I saw in that little town in Southern California, these are people who will never vote. These are people who will never learn to write. These are people who are absolutely out of the realm of educable people.
Yeah, but you probably know, too, if you speak out against this program, they automatically call you racist.
Well, I don't... Call me anything you want. I'm an American who wants to keep America American.
I agree.
You know, is that so terrible?
I agree.
I mean, since when is trying to preserve what we have, what we all know deep down in our hearts is really the right thing? What is so bad about wanting to preserve that? Why do people feel guilty about it? You know, and I'll tell you something. You mentioned politicians. Let me say this to you. I've had many a politician poke me in the ribs and say, oh, gee, hey, you know, you're right, Bob, but I wouldn't say that publicly. I'd get killed.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, thank you for the call, guy.
Yeah, can I add something else?
Can we add anything else? No, you can't. Sorry.
Okay,
This is not a democracy. This is a dictatorship, and I am the dictator. This is Talk Radio.
WABC is News Talk Radio.
Really coast to coast now because we've been joined by the New York audience, and I must tell you, I am enjoying this immensely. And if you want to call from anywhere in the country, 1-800-282-2882. And, of course, if you're calling from the New York area, New Jersey, Connecticut, or New York, it's 563-WABC or 489-WABC. Right now, it's Linda, and I say dutifully, hello, Linda.
Hi, Bob. Bob, it's a great day for America. First of all, because the people of this country get to hear the man who daily peels the hide off all the hypocrites here in New York.
Oh, I like that.
The country's greatest talk show host, in my view. Secondly, I want to add my praise to the Supreme Court, for okaying Bible study in the public schools. It's about time we got some balance back. And I believe that was the true intent of our founding fathers anyway. We're not supposed to be opposed to religion in public places in this country. And thirdly, I feel very good because I just saw President Ronald Reagan on CNN, and he looked absolutely terrific, and I don't think that he gets enough credit for being the man who's really responsible for ending the Cold War. And I also think that he's a man of principle who never would have sold out Lithuania for a trade deal or would have funded the NEA so that they could promulgate that filthy pervert Robert Mapplethorpe's photograph. Bob, lots of luck. And by the way, I'd like to ask you a question. What do you think are David Duke's chances for making it into the U.S. Senate? We could use some balance there, too.
Well, I think that realistically he does have a chance to get into the U.S. Senate, but there are a couple of real big hurdles he has to get over. But it's very possible that he could make it. Very possible.
Sounds like Louisiana may become a new leader of the country.
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but I tell you, I'm more proud of what Governor Romer did in not giving that killer who murdered those two people. In not giving him clemency. He let the death penalty go through, you know. Thank you very much. Thank you for the call, Linda.
Okay, Bob.
Scott, you're with Bob Grant here on Talk Radio, checking in from Houston, Texas, huh?
Yes, sir, that's correct. And thank you very much, Bob. I just wanted to say that I'm glad to be a part of your national debut here. And would you like a joke to start up with a little bit?
Don't tell me a joke and expect me to laugh.
Okay,
I am a perverse person. I laugh when I'm not supposed to, and I don't laugh when I am supposed to.
Well, anyway, it's based on what you were just saying just now, that you are loafing and not working. And it seems like what you want to join, then, is the Not Work Network.
Network.
Since you find it so easy. Anyway, I just thought I'd start off with a little bit.
Oh, that was the joke. Oh, okay.
The network.
Oh, okay.
Okay, anyway, I have a couple of things to talk about here. One of them is this business of teaching people who speak only Spanish English.
Yes.
That the lady, I believe, mentioned earlier.
Yes.
And that is, I think that the easiest way to do that would be to set up a program with dual language commercials, programs, and so forth, and kind of slant it toward the kids. Because children have a natural ability to pick up languages that they lose later. And you could start with these kids, educate them by putting everything in dual language, immediate translation, after every sentence, all this type of thing. And if you did it right, you would have a population of English speakers in about, 10 to 15 years.
As Marcus Aurelius said, stand erect will be made to stand erect. And the people who came into this city where I'm broadcasting from, they crowded them into the Lower East Side. And they all learned to speak English. Why? Why? Because that's the American way. We've dropped the American way. We've become ashamed of the American way, and we're paying the price. Bob Grant on Talk Radio. From John?
The Bronx, New York, Bob.
Okay, he's calling from the Bronx, New York. Ladies and gentlemen, pay close attention to this man.
Bob, first New York, then the country. What next? The world? We can take over the world?
What do you mean, me?
Yeah. How you doing, Bob? We love you out here, Bob.
Well, I'll tell you something. I would be the only person I could trust to be a dictator. I doubt there's any other person I could trust to be a dictator. I would trust myself, though.
Yeah. Bob, what I want to talk about is we got to get pride back to the working class, the decent American. That's the problem with this country.
Well, I don't know what you say. We got to get pride back. We can't get it back overnight because we didn't lose it overnight, but we have lost it. We've lost it because the media helped to make us ashamed of sticking up for values, of standing by values that are worthwhile. A lot of these snobs, the effete elitists in the media, they would have you believe that if you truly love this country and believe in its principles, somehow or other that makes you a cornball. How absurd.
That's right. And they give the rights to all the crooks and the criminals and... I don't know.
Well, all right, John, I appreciate the call. Thank you. Willie is checking in now. Hello, Willie.
Hello, Bob.
Willie from Lincoln, Nebraska.
Yes, sir. First, let me applaud the young girl from Texas about the speaking Spanish in our school system and trying to teach the people that come from Mexico into the United States, and they do not want to learn the language. First of all, people that are over there coming over here are not stupid, and they are not lazy, as some comments were made before.
Well, then why don't they do what your ancestors did, my ancestors did? Why don't they learn English, for heaven's sake? What is the problem?
Well, see, this is the problem that we are having to find out. The first thing, the reason they're coming over is because of their lifestyles down there. They are being oppressed.
Oh, cut it out. Cut it out. Wait a minute. Cut it out. Where are they oppressed? Where?
Well, their governments just take them for everything.
No, come on. Stop it. Be specific. Where? What government?
Well, their government.
What do you mean there? Oh, the Mexican government. You're talking about Mexicans. So in other words, because isn't the president of Mexico, wasn't he elected? Didn't he have an opposition candidate?
Well, yes.
He did. But even if he didn't, why is it our responsibility to take in anybody who feels oppressed? Explain that, please.
That's the way our country is.
No wonder we're in trouble. You got loony birds like this guy. You're making me sick.
Okay, they're coming in because they want to better themselves. And they are...
Well, then why don't they do... Again, I'm going to ask you, why don't they do what our ancestors did?
Well, see, this is what I'm trying to get to the point.
If they... First of all, our ancestors came in as legal aliens, most of them.
Yes.
They didn't invade the border day and night, night and day.
Yes.
Okay? That's the most... Number two, they wanted to become Americans.
Yes.
These people don't want to become Americans.
Well, see, that's the way it is with my family. That's the way it is with me. See, I am Mexican-American. And I was born in Mexico.
Well, okay, you speak swell. You speak good English.
Well, the reason I did that is because my grandmother and grandfather and my mother made sure that we learned both languages.
You prove my point.
See, and this is what I'm trying to say.
You prove my point.
Well, I don't feel that we should, like I'm saying, that we should go ahead and change all our books that are in the school systems to cater to these people that are coming in.
Well, then we have no argument.
No, and this is why I said I will applaud the girl that was in Texas that says that that's the way it should be. I feel that way, too.
Yeah, but I'm not so sure about that gal from El Paso. She kept talking about the 30% who speak Spanish, and why shouldn't they have ballots printed in Spanish. You talked to a lot of people who came to this country and lived here and made a life here. They learned English, and then they voted.
Well, see, that's the way I feel that's the way it should be.
Well,
but it isn't being done that way. And
Willie,
see, we are even as much as giving them bilinguals or showing them even in taking a written test or a driver's test and stuff, and it is also, they make it in Spanish so these people can do it that way too. If they can't read the book to get a driver's license, how in the heck are they going to find out what they're doing in traffic when they can't read the signs?
Would you please run for public office?
Well, I wished I could, but I feel that I'm not that educated myself
but you're a straight shooter. Willie, I had you misjudged at the very beginning. I thought you were going to be one of these bleeding hearts, but you're not.
No.
Okay. Willie, I'm glad I was wrong about you.
Well,
that's the third time in my life I've been wrong. How do you like that?
Well, that's great. And it takes a big man to admit it.
Okay, Willie.
All right,
you.
Thanks a lot.
Not at all.
All right.
Calling from the real heartland of America, Lincoln, Nebraska. Can you find more of a geographic heartland of America than Lincoln, Nebraska? We won't hold it against Lincoln. Who is it comes from there? Johnny Carson? Does he? Anyway, Paul from Essex Junction. Hello.
Hi, Bob. This is the first time I've heard you on the radio, and I thought I'd give you a call.
Where's Essex Junction?
Well, it's in the People's Republic of Vermont, just outside of Burlington.
You know, Vermont used to be a good conservative state at one
Used
time.
to be.
Yep.
We got too many bleeding heart liberals.
I tell you, I can't stand Senator Pat Leahy. I can't stand him. Would somebody please give him a laxative? He looks so constipated.
I love it. Listen, Bob, what I wanted to talk to you about is this trip of Gorbachev's and his getting around all these cities, not the summit, but his traveling to these cities with all these people hanging on to him like he's the resurrection of Christ. What these people aren't realizing is that this guy is not a Johnny-come-lately on the political scene. He was in the KGB back in the 60s. He fought us in Vietnam. Now, I'm a two-tour Nam vet. We fought these guys to a standstill. Militarily, we could have won that war. Politically, we lost it. He knows that militarily we could have beat the pants off of Russia then. I'm not so sure now, but then we could have. But he is playing the game now to where he does not want to have to find out. He is sucking up to all of the liberal people that were against the war in Vietnam, such as Fonda.
Well, look, I don't know why we have a couple of callers today resurrecting Vietnam. Vietnam is hopefully the past.
Well, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to bring about a point that he is not wanting to get involved in anything that's going to militarily commit his troops.
Well, I don't think we should be saber-rattling. I think the time for saber-rattling is long gone, and certainly it would be foolish for anybody to start that again. But my point earlier in my remarks was, why is George Bush so solicitous of this guy? As far as the American people getting excited over his presence, well, that's understandable because he is a world figure of the first magnitude. Whether you like him or not, there is no figure more well-known right now and more important. But that's just Americans loving celebrities. I wish we had more time, Paul. Thank you very much for the call. Go out there and run against Pat Leahy, will you?
Yeah, see what we can do.
Bob Grant on Talk Radio. And right now, I'm welcoming to the program Faye, calling from sunny Bono's Palm Springs, California.
Thank you. Boy, you're a breath of fresh air here, boy. I just can't get over it. We've had more, these talk show people are talking just the opposite to what they should be talking.
Really?
Nobody holds up for the country. Nobody wants anything right here. I'm telling you, I'm just so glad that I heard you today. I just got back from the doctor's office. And this immigration thing is in shambles. $100 billion a year to run the program, and nobody's doing anything.
You know, Faye, I still don't understand what quirk is in our character that makes us ashamed to want to protect our borders.
I'm not, and when we become the minority like we are now, I think something is deeply wrong here, and everybody's sitting back, taking it all in and saying nothing.
About maybe 50, 60, 70 miles southwest of where you are, there is a dagger facing your part of the country, as the mestizo tide sweeps across the border. And I have to laugh. You know, you're driving up 15, I-15, and just a little bit north of Fallbrook there around Temecula, they slow you down to look and eyeball you to see if you got a bunch of illegal aliens in the car. What good does that do? They're all over the joint.
That's right. They're coming over that border all over, and I hear that they're bringing all this dope in, putting it on tractor trailers, trucks, and bringing it into California now.
Well, even if they weren't, let's not talk about the dope thing. I don't think a lot of these people are bringing in dope. I think they're bringing in themselves, which is just as destructive. They are a drain. They are invading us. Can't anybody see that in government?
No, they don't want to see it. They're not suffering. They got the millions. They don't care. They're not out here in the real world.
Where are you from originally, Faye?
I'm originally from Kentucky.
I see. Well, okay. Listen,
I'm certainly glad you hit the air. Are you going to be on permanently?
I should be, but there are people who are sabotaging me.
Well, I hope they don't. I hope that just tell us how to work that.
There are some very short-sighted people around this place.
Well, you don't have to tell me. I've been writing letters and making phone calls to the Congress and everything else for the last 9 years. Well, everybody turns down their hearing aid.
Give my regards to Mayor Bono.
Okay, sweetie. Nice talking to you.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Bye. William, are you there, William?
Yes, I am, Bob.
How formal,
I want to
William.
bring some facts to your attention, which I have observed over a period of time, like a computer. Number one, World War I was 1914. 25 years later, in 1939, was World War II. We did not get into it until December of 41 with Pearl Harbor. Now, from 1939-41 era to 89-90-91 is a 50-year time cycle. Am I just dealing with harmless speculation by looking at these things and the patterns that took place that led to World War II that are happening in the world today? You have the creationism evolution controversy, and back in the 20s you had the Scopes monkey trial.
We're not going to go to war
and you
over
had
that.
the depression for 10 years that preceded the war. Does it appear that a pattern is developing that may be leading to a war? Do we have reason for alarm or concern?
No, not over that.
Not over that.
No, I don't play those mystical games.
Okay, then you think I'm just dealing with harmless speculation.
I think you're dealing in a parlor game. You know, this is good having at a party. You know,
but it's good to look at
make a little Trivial Pursuit. You know, that's
right. It's good to look at
with the accent on the word trivial.
Right, but it's good to look at these things objectively because there might be something there.
Thank you for the call. Nevertheless, William, I hope you feel better.
Yes.
Okay, this is Bob on Talk Radio.
This is News Talk Radio, WABC.
This is Bob Grant, deep in the heart of Manhattan, saying hello to Cliff, deep in the heart of Texas.
McAllen, Texas.
Yeah, Cliff.
Hey, Bob Grant, I sure like your lingo.
Well.
And I like that speak English in United States of America.
I mean, what the heck is... You know, why should some people be so shocked at that?
No, really. Bob, I tell you what, it's about time somebody speaks up on this subject, and I live 20 miles from Reynosa, Mexico. And we start off with our news meter down in McAllen, Texas. On Sunday, it's only spoken in Spanish.
Oh.
So they don't need to speak English down here.
Yeah.
They're not forced to. And sounds like you came back from, like, the German or Irish or whatever. I'm a German descent from Germany, and my Emil Gregorich and all that. My grandmother, they all spoke German, but from Wiesenbad, Germany. But they learned English. And nobody gave them a school system of being bilingual in German. They gave them an English course of education, and if they passed the grades, they did. And down here in South Texas, 20 miles from Reynosa, Mexico, they don't need to speak English because we are about 85-90% Spanish, And you even pull into a filling station or go to a restaurant, they speak Spanish.
Well, if the politicians don't want to lead, then I don't know what the heck we can do. By the way, speaking of politicians,
Right.
please tell me Ann Richards is not going to be your next governor. Please tell me that. Tell me.
I certainly hope not.
Oh.
Well, we have Kika de la Garza down in South Texas. We have Kika de la Garza.
By the way, de la Garza sent me a case of grapefruit a couple of years ago.
Oh, he's a wonderful person, right?
Yeah.
You know what? He doesn't rock the boat.
No, Kiki's all right.
Hey, you know what?
If you see him, tell him I'm short of grapefruit. I haven't had a grapefruit since I ran out of the supply.
Well, I tell you what, I vote for him every time because you know what? He's pretty good with the Anglo people down here.
Well, you mean Americans?
No,
I have to laugh. You call Americans Anglos when you get close to the Mexican border. Suddenly, I was in Fallbrook, California just yesterday. A guy says, "Are you an Anglo man? Are you an Anglo?" I said, "No, I'm an American. What do you mean Anglo?"
I got a blister on my index finger. I don't have one of those push-back phones. I kept dialing that your 1-800-282-2882 number. I got a blister on my index finger dialing.
Well,
but anyway, I sure like your lingo.
Thank you, Cliff.
And we got Lloyd Benson down there too.
Thank you, Cliff. Thank you very much. Let's say hello to Teresa. She's calling from Border, Texas. We have a Texas flavor to this program today. Yes, Teresa.
Yes, I'm calling about this immigration stuff. My husband and I have talked about this for a long time, and he's German. His grandparents, in fact, his great-grandparents can't even speak English except for what they've learned since they've been here.
Yep.
And we just really don't. I mean, everywhere we go, if you turn over a piece of paper, anything you go to fill out, you've got to turn it over and look for the English side.
Yep.
And it just really just gets next to us.
Teresa, I stand up for America, Teresa, and thank you very much for the call. Let's say hello to Julianne. She'll probably be our last caller for this segment from Belleville, Illinois. Yes, Julianne.
I just wanted to inform you that the fault of teaching the Spanish-speaking people in the schools in their language is the politicians. It has nothing to do with the Spanish-speaking people. I'm a first-generation American, and when I went to school, nobody told me I was too dumb to learn in English. That is the politicians. You're after the wrong people. You have to go after the politicians, and I've called every congressman because they're the ones that coined this word Hispanic.
Yeah, what is
Hispanic?
Hispanic?
Not a word.
What is
Hispanic is not a word.
What is Latino? Latino. Okay, thank you, Julianne. To those of you elsewhere in the country, it's been my pleasure. It might be scribbled that you're not supposed to use the phrase, "I told you so." Well, ladies and gentlemen, I've been telling you so long before anybody else. Now, I have to blow my own horn because I don't have a PR firm. And the only time anybody ever wants to call and tell me about anything is if a prediction goes wrong. But I have been telling you that Il Supremo intends to win a third term as governor, which he will do without even campaigning. As a matter of fact, he could disappear. I don't know what it is about him. I don't know if it's the bags under the eyes, the leer. I don't know what it is. I've got to analyze him. What it is about this man of hubris, Mr. Hubris himself. But he will win big, and then he will say, I'd like to really help New York, and I've done everything I could to do that, but our problems can only be solved in Washington. And therefore, Matilda and I are going to pack up and go to Washington. Now, that's what he will say. That's what he will want to do. He won't do it because the American people are not... they don't have as many Gabons elsewhere around the country as there are in New York who are impressed with this phony, and George Bush will beat him. But what he's going to do is win re-election, and then he's going to step down and turn things over to Stanley Lundeen. Now, I've been saying that, and I noticed that just day before yesterday, Il Supremo himself would not say for sure that he would serve the full 4 years. Ladies and gentlemen, I submit to you that we should not vote for anyone to any office if he is running for that office only to be double parked while waiting to run for another office. What right does any politician, regardless of party, have to win an election and then turn right around and step down from that office? Only in the rarest cases, only in true emergency cases, does he have a right to do that, in my view. Why is it, I tell you, I wish I were taken in by Il Supremo like the rest of you. I'd be happier. I'd be more serene. I could sleep better at night. Gee, it was so nice getting away from him for a week. Mario. Irene, hello.
Hi, Bob. I'm calling from New Jersey, and I'm calling because I'm absolutely outraged at something I read in the Asbury Park Press on Saturday. Our new no-tax governor is now intending to tax inheritance. It has been off the New Jersey books for about 4 or 5 years. Now, the people of this state who are paying income tax to the state or paying taxes have paid tax on this money. I feel that as a person who is older, who has children and grandchildren, the money is mine, and I'm entitled to leave it to my children without them having to pay tax on it. And I'd like to know if you would inform the people of the state, since every time you turn our radios on in New Jersey, it's another tax this governor is trying to, scrounge up. And I am just outraged at this latest ploy of his to get more money for the state.
Well, he is a typical old-line New Deal liberal Democrat, and that's the only thing they think of is how can they get the most tax money from the public. And Jim Florio is going to ruin New Jersey. People who have voted for him are going to, if they haven't already, are going to deeply regret the fact that he is now the governor of the state. The man is hell-bent on raising taxes. He is not really concerned with cutting spending. And this is all part and parcel of the whole panoply of taxes that he has proposed.
Well, I would suggest to any senior citizen living that is listening that they take their money out of the banks in New Jersey and put it in banks in Florida. There's no tax in Florida.
Well, thank you very much for the suggestion. Robert, hello.
Hi, Bob. Yeah, this is Robert from New Jersey. I'm a first-time caller, a long-time listener. And I wanted to know, with a Lady Gets case, why in the world do prosecutors...
On WABC, let's say hello to Robert. Robert.
Hello, Bob.
Yes.
I'm going to talk to you about Mario Cuomo.
All right.
I think you owe your listening audience an apology because you kept after Mario Cuomo the last time you said he was going to run for president. Now you're starting all over again.
Well, that's right.
But at least apologize
because I'm living in 1990, and in the year 1990, my prediction is still that he wants to run for president. I haven't changed that.
You haven't changed, but you were wrong the last time.
As I said a moment ago, the only time people want to call and say anything is if I was wrong. I thought he was going to run in '88. I'm sure he's going to run now. But what's the big deal whether he does or whether he doesn't? Am I that important? Get off my phone, you jerk. What is your name, sir?
Halton, yes. Thanks, Bob. I thought that Mario would have run in '88 also.
He was a cagazot. That's why he did.
Yeah.
Mario, you see, maybe the reason I have such disdain for him is because I know him. You know that old saying, familiarity breeds contempt? I probably have gotten to know him as well, if not better, than any politician in the country. And back in the 70s, I knew him very well.
You were personal friends?
Yes. Mm-hmm. And I must admit, he was charming. He had much to commend him on a personal level. But as I got to know him better, I realized a few things about him. None of us likes to lose, of course. None of us wants to lose. But he can't stand losing. He doesn't want to run for anything unless he's sure he'll win. And because he wasn't sure he'd win in '88, he didn't take the plunge.
Well, certainly you think you'd have a better chance of winning, running for an open presidential seat rather than, for the first time in 20 years, than he would running against an incumbent.
But he likes to attack, and he feels comfortable this way. But I think it's significant that he refused to say he would serve for all 4 years.
It probably is because he had made that pledge in '86 when he was reelected that he wouldn't run for another office.
That's right.
But I thought that I mentioned to one of your screeners that I thought there was a parallel between Pete Wilson, who maybe didn't make a pledge that he would run for governor in '90 when he was reelected to the Senate in '88 in California, and now he is running for governor. So I don't know if you can apply this ironclad rule that if you run for one office, you should make a pledge that you will never run for another until that term is expired.
Well, nobody asked Pete Wilson 4 years ago. His term would be up in 1992.
Mm-hmm.
He was elected he was elected in 1986. Now, no one...
I think it was 80... Well, I think it was 82. I think he was reelected in 88.
88, excuse me, 88. Yeah. He was elected in 88. Now, state of California Constitution says that if a person retires from the Senate, the governor shall appoint a successor.
Mm-hmm.
That person will serve until the next congressional election. So Duke Majan could appoint someone to succeed Pete Wilson, and then in 1992...
You'd have 2 Senate elections in California.
Right.
Yeah.
But the fact is, when a person is running for governor, when he's running for a 4-year term, we have every right to ask him, is he going to fulfill that term? In '88, nobody asked Pete Wilson, are you running for all 6 years or not?
That's true. They did come to him and say, look, you're the only one who has a chance of winning the governorship in '90, though.
But one thing has nothing to do with the other. I'm talking about Cuomo here in New York.
Of course, Cuomo's not going to be elected. He's going to be coronated. I don't rail against him the way you do, but I mean, this is...
I can't stand him. I cannot stand his hubris. His arrogance is overpowering. Overpowering. Thank you.
Okay.
Vinny.
La Faccia de Gats, Grant.
I beg your pardon?
La Faccia de Gats.
La Faccia. I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but apparently Vinny does. Mark, you're on WABC. Hello.
Hi, Mr. Grant.
Yes.
How are you today? I know you're just fine because I've heard you're just fine. I really enjoyed your little national show there, and I hope that does become a reality. I want to add.
I can't believe that we have a program director that would bar me from doing that. I can't believe she could be so short-sighted. I can't believe it.
Well, I have a little personal, what do they call it, ulterior motive. I'm moving out of the area in a few months, which I'm glad for, but I'm going to miss your show if it's not on nationally.
Where are you moving?
I'm moving to Walla Walla, Washington.
May I ask why?
I am going to be enrolling in college.
Oh, the reason I said that, the reason I'm saying everything in duplicate is because you're going to Walla Walla.
Right. Well, they call it the town. They like the name so well they named it twice. Anyway, this is my first time calling, but I've been listening for, I don't know, 3 or 4 years at least, and I just wanted to let you know how much I appreciate the program. You've helped me to open my eyes to a lot of things in the world of government and politics, and you had a influence to help me to call my congressmen and senators a while back when they wanted to have the pay raised, and help me to vote for the first time, and a few things like that. And I just appreciate your show, and I like it especially when you have interesting guests on, like Dr. Thomas Sowell.
When are you leaving?
About the end of August.
Well, that means you can call me every week until then.
That's true. Well, also I'm calling. I live in Stamford, Connecticut, but I'm working down in New Jersey where it's a free call. So and I was able to get on in only about 10 minutes, which was nice. But,
give my regards to everybody in Twin Peaks, which is the town right next to Walla Walla.
Well, actually, it's a long ways from Walla Walla.
Well, if anybody can figure out where Twin Peaks is, let me know, because I'll move there. Sounds like my kind of town.
It is a beautiful town, but I don't think they do a lot of the stuff that's on the show there.
Thank you very much, Bob.
Thanks, Bob. Bye-bye.
Hello, Bill.
Hi, Bob. Bill from New Jersey. I I sort of agree with most of what I hear you say about Florio, but I got to tell you, I worked for a agency of state government under the Kane administration, and the deception that took place during that administration in terms of mirrors and balancing the budget and making the state's economy appear to be substantially better than it really was is in part what Florio's had to inherit. And I'm not going to come off as a Florio supporter. I didn't vote for him. But I got to tell you, at least a part of...
well, if you're not a supporter, why are you supporting him? I don't understand all the Mark Anthonys we have out there. The guy says, I'm not a supporter, but he's supporting him. He's justifying what he's doing.
I'm telling you that there's a deficit that the state inherited, and part of it...
Well, cut the spending. You know, in the campaign, he said, we don't need... Here are his words, quote, we don't need to raise taxes.